Some stories are whispered only in fear, some are buried because no one dares to remember them. But there are a few stories that refuse to die. This is one of them. A cursed village, a haunted doll, and nights filled with screams that never reach the morning. If you dare to listen, remember, once you know the secret, it never lets you go. A small abandoned village in the woods of rural America. Broken houses, cracked roads, and oil lamps flickering in the cold wind. The entire place seemed frozen in time. In the middle stood an ancient mansion, rumored to be home to a doll that was alive. Locals avoided the path leading there after sunset. At night, dozens of black cats gathered outside the mansion. Their glowing eyes pierced the darkness. People whispered they weren't normal cats. They were servants of something darker. Sarah, 10-year-old girl, innocent, always carried an old toy doll everywhere. David, 14-year-old boy, curious, adventurous, always wanting to uncover mysteries. Mr. Grayson, 70-year-old man, the oldest villager, carrying the heaviest secrets of the past. Agatha, 65-year-old woman, known as the village witch, often warning that she had seen the doll move with her own eyes. Children's group, 3 boys, 2 girls, used to play near the mansion and share creepy stories about what they heard. And finally, the black cat. It was always seen close to the doll, watching, waiting, almost like a guardian. One stormy night, a little girl from the village vanished. Her parents claimed she had been whispering to her doll, saying, "She wants to play with me tonight." By morning, the girl was gone. On her bedroom wall, in smeared blood, was written, "She plays with me now." The village panicked. Fear spread like fire. Mr. Grayson gathered the families and warned, "That doll feeds on souls. Whoever touches it is marked. They never stay the same." The missing girl's mother broke down in tears. She confessed her daughter often talked to the doll as if it were alive. Sarah, curious and fearless, whispered to David, "I want to see that doll too." That night, Sarah sat alone in her room, holding her own doll. Suddenly, she felt another presence. At first, the cursed doll's face looked harmless, but as the lantern flickered low, its eyes began glowing red. Sarah screamed. Her parents rushed in, but the doll was gone. On the windowsill sat the black cat, its eyes glowing the same blood red as the doll's. One by one, children from the village began disappearing. Each time, the only clues were strange red stains on their toys and claw marks on the floor. Villagers blamed the cats, believing them cursed, but Agatha warned, "It's not the cats. They only follow the master. The doll is the real evil." David, stubborn and restless, decided he would enter the mansion himself and uncover the truth. That night, David sneaked into the haunted mansion. His flashlight flickered as he entered. The air grew colder. In front of him stood an old, cracked mirror, but his reflection wasn't there. Behind the glass, he saw the doll standing, smiling, and beside it, the lifeless body of a missing child. Suddenly, a black cat leapt onto his shoulder, sinking its claws deep into his neck. The screen fades to black. David's awakening. David collapsed when the black cat clawed into his neck. Hours later, he woke up inside the mansion. The air was damp, the walls covered in strange childlike drawings, smiling faces, dolls, cats, and children with empty eyes. His flashlight was gone. Only the dim moonlight through broken windows lit the place. Whispers filled the halls. "Play with us. Stay forever." The doll's chamber. David wandered deeper and found a grand room filled with dozens of old dolls sitting on dusty chairs, shelves, and beds. In the center sat the cursed doll, her cracked porcelain face smiling unnaturally, her glass eyes glowing faintly. Suddenly, one of the dolls on the shelf moved its head toward David. Then another shifted its arm. Soon, the entire room of dolls seemed alive. The black cat reappeared, its tail brushing against his leg. It stared at him as if warning. Don't move. Sarah's worry. Back in the village, Sarah grew restless. She told Agatha, "David went to the mansion last night. He hasn't come back." Agatha frowned. "That boy doesn't know what he's walking into." The doll isn't just cursed, it holds the souls of children. Sarah, terrified but determined, decided to find David. Against her parents' warnings, she carried her doll and slipped into the night. David's discovery. David gathered courage and stepped closer to the cursed doll. On the floor, he noticed broken toys, hair ribbons, and shoes, belongings of the missing children. Suddenly, he heard footsteps behind him. Turning around, he saw a little boy. His skin was pale, his eyes hollow. The boy whispered, "Help us. She won't let us go." Before David could respond, the child faded into smoke, leaving behind a tiny shoe. The old man's warning. Meanwhile, Mr. Grayson told the villagers the true story. Decades ago, the mansion's owner was a lonely woman. She made dolls for the village children. But one doll, she created using forbidden rituals. She poured a child's soul into porcelain, hoping to make her daughter live forever. But the ritual went wrong. The doll awoke with hunger, craving more souls. Every child who touched it vanished. And the black cats? They were drawn to her power, guardians of her curse. The villagers trembled as they realized the curse was still alive. Sarah enters the mansion. Sarah reached the mansion and stepped inside. Her small lantern flickered, revealing the same childlike drawings David had seen. She heard faint crying upstairs and followed it. Her doll slipped from her hands and landed on the floor with a loud thud. When she bent down to pick it up, she realized it was no longer her doll. The porcelain face staring back wasn't hers. It was the cursed doll. The doll speaks. For the first time, the doll whispered, "Play with me, Sarah, just once. Forever." Sarah froze, tears filling her eyes. The voice was cold, echoing from nowhere and everywhere. Suddenly, dozens of dolls in the mansion turned their heads toward her in unison. Their glass eyes glowed, and faint children's laughter filled the room. The black cat walked in front of her, blocking her path deeper inside, its eyes burning red. David and Sarah meet upstairs. David heard Sarah's scream. He rushed toward her, kicking open a rotten door. Sarah clung to him, whispering, "She talked to me. The doll talked to me." Behind them, the cursed doll stood in the middle of the hallway, her porcelain feet tapping slowly against the wooden floor. David pulled Sarah and ran, but every corridor twisted into another. The mansion was alive, reshaping itself, trapping them inside. The children's ghosts. Suddenly, they stumbled into a room filled with mirrors. In each reflection, they didn't see themselves, but the missing children. The children whispered, "She keeps us here. She feeds on us." "You can't leave," Sarah asked. "How do we stop her?" But the children only screamed, pressing their faces against the mirrors, banging from the other side, their eyes hollow. Cliffhanger. The cursed doll appeared in the mirror, larger than life, her smile splitting unnaturally wide. The black cat leapt onto a table, knocking over a candle. Flames erupted, setting the room ablaze. David grabbed Sarah's hand. They tried to run, but every door slammed shut at once. The doll's voice echoed through the fire. "No one leaves! Ever." The screen fades to black. The burning room flames licked the wooden walls as David and Sarah coughed, choking on smoke. The mirrors around them shattered one by one, releasing piercing screams of trapped souls. The children's ghosts spilled into the room, flickering like broken lights, their cries echoing. "Stay with us! Stay forever!" David pulled Sarah to the ground, crawling beneath the smoke. He spotted a broken window, but as he reached for it, invisible hands grabbed his arm, dragging him backward. Agatha's ritual. Outside the mansion, Agatha gathered candles and strange symbols drawn in chalk. She whispered incantations in a forgotten tongue. Mr. Grayson joined her, holding an ancient book. His voice trembled. "We don't have much time. If the doll takes Sarah, the curse will grow stronger." The villagers, terrified yet desperate, formed a circle around the mansion. They held lanterns, clutching crosses and charms, praying as the night grew colder. The doll's power inside. David saw the cursed doll walking through the fire unharmed. Her porcelain skin didn't crack, her smile only widened. She whispered, "You can't save her, David. You can't save any of them. They're mine now." The black cat leapt across the flames, its red eyes glowing brighter than ever. It perched on the doll's shoulder, purring in a low, demonic rumble. Sarah screamed as her own doll, the one she had carried since childhood, twisted and changed, its face cracking open to reveal the same red, glowing eyes. Sarah's resistance tears rolled down her cheeks as she clutched the doll. "You're not mine. You're not real." For a moment, the cursed doll faltered, her eyes dimming slightly. But then the voices of dozens of trapped children screamed louder, drowning Sarah's defiance. David realized something. The doll was feeding on fear. The more they panicked, the stronger she became. Mr. Grayson's revelation outside, Mr. Grayson explained to the villagers, "The doll is bound to a child's soul. The woman who created her sacrificed her daughter, binding her essence into porcelain. That is why she hungers. She can never rest. To destroy her, we must sever the bond. But the ritual requires a child to resist her. A child's courage against her curse." Agatha's hands shook. "Sarah is the only one who can do it." The ghostly children attack.